And that's what IDFN is about. So without further ado, I am going to get Shifa on here. And I want you guys to put questions in the question box. And I also have some questions queued up from a couple of my my loves from my loves broadcast channel. For my loves broadcast channel on my page. If you are not a part of my loves broadcast channel, make sure you go to my Instagram page and get involved, okay? I always tell them everything first. I share, tidbits about my day, BTS, and things that I don't post on my regular stories and stuff. So make sure you join my loves broadcast channel. It is on my page. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go live with Shifa. I have some really cool questions from my loves that I feel like are gonna fit the night perfectly. Join the conversation. Don't be shy. Please feed. This is a circle of love. This is promoting mental health and self-awareness. And that is one of the most important things for me, especially in this journey that I'm in right now. So as I'm on the journey, I'm taking you guys along with me. So oh, I don't even know how did I get how did I get a filter on? I didn't even try to do this.
Hey,
Hey!
let me make sure
Hey
I can
Yasmin,
hear
how
you.
are you?
I'm good. How are you? You look so
Good,
beautiful.
you too.
Thank
Happy
you. Oh my goodness.
holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. That song. I was singing it all week long. I got the sneak peek first, y'all.
Yes,
I
she
did.
did. I sent it to her first. I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm so excited. We haven't done this since COVID.
I know.
So,
It's been so much happening, right?
right, yeah, a lot of life has happened. Um, so we could just jump right into it. I'm really excited to talk about this. My song IDFN that I was just playing is basically a record about choosing your health over anyone else, not just a romantic relationship, but knowing that you have your self love and the things that you can give yourself instead of being in a toxic situation. And also just knowing, being aware, I think being
Yeah.
aware and being strong enough to say, hey, it's okay if this didn't work out. I'm going to go get a massage or I'm going to go do whatever I need to do to better myself. So, yeah, so I have some questions.
Yeah.
Do you have some questions
I
too?
do. Well,
Okay.
see, what I was curious
However you
about,
want to
what I
do it.
was curious about is, I was listening to the song and it was something about it. I love all your other songs, but something about this one, it was just so raw, and it felt like you were telling a story that, especially as women, we're all too familiar with. You know what I mean? And so I was just really curious. I was like, Serayah, what was the inspiration for you behind the song?
Um, so the inspiration for me, so this record actually was a demo record and I heard it and I was like, at first I'm like, nah, it's too much. And then I listened to it again and it was one of those records that I was like, I listened to a couple times and I was like, wait a minute. This is, there's something very like shocking to it, a shock value because it's such a beautiful intro and they're like, okay, niggas must be crazy. Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I love that about it. But I think what I most loved about it was um like you said, the honest storytelling of it and that it was more positive than like it wasn't about bashing
Right.
a partner, but it was more about, hey, I'm gonna seek out the best for me always. And that's always gonna be priority. And I think there is something about like kind of having like a selfishness about your health.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this has to come first. If this doesn't come first, I can't be good for anyone. So Um, I think that's really what pulled me into it. I was like, oh, this actually has a story. It definitely sounds like you want to wait, hold on, what's she talking about? And I think that's what first grabbed me. What's crazy is his name's Duca, one of the producers and one of the writers of the song, and he was on the demo. So it was a man singing it. And I was like,
Wow.
I feel like if I sing this, I could hear myself on it. So that's kind of how it all happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. No, I love that. I love what you said about it's not about bashing somebody, but, more so reclaiming your own power, reclaiming what you've given up and what you lose when you enter these, toxic dynamics. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So I wanna introduce you again,
yes.
and more, like better introduce you to the people. So tell our followers kind of just like what you do and what and who you are and what you can offer, us because she's the real deal, y'all. She's the truth. She's the truth.
Thank you. Yeah, no, to reintroduce myself, my name is Yasmin Habib, also known as Shifa or Shifa's Journey on Instagram and TikTok. That's my handle. I am an internal family systems therapy practitioner and a certified ICF certified life coach. I'm really passionate about essentially like I've been thinking about like what is it that I do? What is it that really pulls me to this work? And for me, it's really all about connection and helping people, remove the barriers that prevent us from connecting more authentically to true love, to deep love, whether it's with ourselves or with other people. You want to have true love with a man, with a woman, you want to have true love with your family. And I think as human beings, we were designed to be in love, to be connected. Unfortunately, there's a lot that happens in our environment and historically, and, all this trauma that can block us from that. So I am passionate about helping people remove those barriers so they can connect.
Gosh, I love that, y'all. You'll have to go to her page. It's at Shifa's
Yep,
Journey.
Shifa's Journey.
Shifa's Journey, and you guys have to go to her page. She has so many great videos on all things, just relationships, self growth, so many different aspects and different. I love how you're able to. You have a gift to be able to explain complex ideals and make them so simple.
Yeah.
And to be able to bite size that into a Instagram reel is just like it's amazing. So you guys have to go to her page. Um, I'm gonna actually go ahead and put your page down. Is it Shifa with the S?
Mm-hmm.
Journey.
Shifa's
Hold on.
Journey. Yeah, Shifa means healing. It's my family name, and it means
Okay.
healing. So,
Oh,
ironically,
I love
it's kind of.
that.
I feel like
Oh,
it was a sign that this was my calling all along.
oh my God, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay, I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna get into some questions from the fans, from the people. We have one question from Zane Alexa. She says, "How do you heal after a heartbreak?"
Yeah, healing after heartbreak, I think it's one of those things that, like they say, takes a lot of, it's time, time is the key, but also understanding that you're going to have to give yourself some grace because there are dynamics that, a lot of times when we get into situations where the heartbreak isn't just like, oh, okay, yeah, the relationship ended, but it's more so like you're talking about in your song, right? There's a lot of toxicity. There's a lot of highs and lows in the relationship. What ends up happening is that this is a really addictive cycle. Like you start to have that's what makes these toxic relationships hard, and that's what makes the breakups even harder because your body is, chemically addicted to the highs and the lows. And so it's essentially a detoxing process. That's really what you're dealing with. And I think sometimes we take that for granted. And, the world kind of tells us, like, oh, just give it a little bit of time and you'll be all right. But sometimes you need a lot of time. And sometimes you might even, find yourself going back and forth before there's a sense of, okay, I can't keep doing this, just like with any addiction, right? So giving yourself that grace and compassion and understanding that is going to take time, a lot of time is key. And then, you know, reconnecting to the parts of yourself that you lost. So like you were talking about, a lot of times what ends up in a toxic relationship is we we lose ourselves. We lose the things that remind us of our personhood,
Mm.
right? Um,
Like
whether
individuality?
our
Like,
individuality, yes,
okay.
yes, our individuality. And that could be from, as simple as the practical things, right? Like your interests. Like, what are you interested in doing? What are
Mm.
your friends, your family, right? So the relationship tends to take over. Like a lot of us have heard it,
Right.
right? Where
Yeah.
friends are calling you, telling you, I haven't heard from you in a while. Where have you been? Like, you just been with your boo this whole time. Well, that's love. That's a part of love. But it can also, when you're dealing with a toxic dynamic, it can get to a place where you lose what makes you you, what anchors you. And so when you know the getting over the heartbreak is about, I don't know who I am without this person. That's
Mm.
really what you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
so connecting back to the things that make you who you are can really help regulate you and ground you as you're detoxing from the situation.
I love that because you just gave some really great tips on like how to even exit, right? Like
Right.
detoxing and giving yourself more time to be able to find your personhood again. I love that personhood. I love that. And I think that that's it's such a important step to take, even though not all of us take it,
Yeah.
me included. It's an
Same here.
important step to take, to learn how to be with oneself,
Yeah.
by oneself, and be okay.
Right.
And I think that that's something that we all could definitely take a page out of that book. I have another question from Mia Moore underscore Jada. She's from one of my love's um, broadcast channel. She says, "How do you practice your self love?" So, what are some ways that people can practice their self love?
Yeah, practicing self-love. So loving yourself, everybody feels loved differently. So first it's understanding, how do I feel loved, right? When you think about what is it that makes you, what was it that you were complaining about in your last relationship? What is it that he or she didn't do? A lot of times that's the clue to what it is that you're asking yourself of, right? Like, that's what you're really
Mm,
from you as much as you want it from anybody else. And we underestimate the power of our true compassionate self coming in and giving to us, to the parts of us that are, feeling alone, feeling scared, giving to us how the love that we're really searching for, and giving it to ourselves in the way that we best receive it. So for you, if you're a words of affirmation type of woman, then and you've been saying to your last man, or your last girlfriend, listen, you don't tell me you love me enough. You don't tell me I'm beautiful enough. You don't tell me, how you feel about me.
mm,
Well, that's your first clue right there, right? So
mm,
even if it's as simple as going into the mirror every morning and telling yourself, I love you. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. You are dynamic. You
mhm.
are capable. That practice, that small, gentle daily practice, can make the difference for how you feel. Like, people really underestimate the power of that, self receiving that self love, and that in the ways that are very practical for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here like, dang, you preaching because because a lot of things that we want from our partners or just our relationships, in the closest relationships we have in our life, a lot of things are those parts of us that are void of something, and we're looking for something external to fill it,
Right.
whether that be social media to fill it, whether that be a person to fill it, a partner, a friendship, um, an obtainable goal to fill the void. I feel like we're always seeking outward first.
Yes.
And when those people aren't able to feel what we are feeling, that we are void of, it's like we feel like it's their duty or it's their job.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to point out with what you said, that I thought that was so, important, was that you're main clue. That's how you find out what you need and how you find out what to give to yourself,
Right.
so that you don't have your cup isn't draining on E,
Exactly.
that you're always refilling your own cup and you're not looking for something else to do that.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I love what you said about like first, right? It's you're the primary filler of your cup. And it isn't to say
Mm,
a lot of times I think what turns us off from that idea of self-love is, it sounds like, we're saying, well, love you, you don't need
mm,
nobody else, which is not
right.
true.
Not
We need
true.
other
Right.
people, you know?
Mm,
But when we are operating from a place of, you know, I, when we're operating from a place of, like you said, that lack, that emptiness, it's a lot to ask other people to fill that. And honestly, a lot of times they're not capable of filling that, because a lot of our wounding actually, comes from a deeper place.
mm,
For most of us, it's childhood. And so
whew,
what ends up
yeah.
happening is we get confused and we think that the argument that I'm having with this person is all it's about, but it can actually be about the argument back then,
Yep.
or the thing that I was crying for when I was a baby, when I was young. And so now you're asking this person to actually fill what maybe mom or dad didn't necessarily fill, and they can't do that.
I
And that's why
can't.
it's a constant, like, you're just constantly like, but it's not enough, but it's not enough, but it's not enough, because it's not really, it's not supposed to come from them, right? That's an internal family systems therapy, which is what I practice in my, which is what I practice. It's all about that attachment. It's called attachment theory,
Mm,
and
hmm.
so it's about taking attachment and going inwards with it, and being able to connect with what we call, actually, like, in a lot of traditions, it's called the higher self. Um, you know, it's this deeper wisdom that we contain. It's who we are when we remove the layers of brokenness, right? The false beliefs of brokenness,
Mm.
and we're able to feel it. Um, we're able to feel what we didn't really get to feel, and we do it correctly and process it completely instead of being stuck with it. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I love that. I think that there's something so profound in that, and more often, I don't know why this filter keeps popping
It's
up on
so
my
cute, though.
face. What's happening? I am not trying to click this thing. Okay. I'm like, I love that we're talking about internal family systems, because did I say that right?
Yes,
Internal
internal
family.
family
Okay, okay.
system. Yeah.
Um, because God, I've been learning so much in the past year, and this is just a vulnerable moment. So
Yeah.
much in the past year about myself and my own childhood, and the things that I felt that I guess I've been feeling from childhood, but I wasn't always the best at expressing those things. And now they're coming to the surface, and now I'm starting to see them
Yeah.
uh, kind of bloom and blossom into like a, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
And and in a lot of those things, you're thinking that, oh, this person just isn't doing this, and you're supposed to do this, but it's really, like you said, you're just going to keep chasing and chasing and chasing, because what you're really needing to feel is from a whole different, like, situation, and not even situation, like it's almost like your biological ties, like this
Yeah.
person that you just met a few years ago, there's no way
Yeah.
that they're going to be able to feel what your parents did or did not, and so, or whatever your childhood consisted of.
Yeah.
So I think that it's been a big lesson for me to understand myself better,
Yeah.
and then be able to really, like, okay, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Like, self-assess first, and understand,
Yes.
like, what's actually happening inside of me, and what am I actually wanting this person to do?
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, you are asking them to do something, and it's just this never ending cycle.
Yeah.
It was not good enough. I didn't feel it.
Yes.
It's not, I'm still not feeling whatever that was
Yeah.
missing. It's not being
Yeah.
fulfilled. And then you're putting that pressure on someone else. It's unfair. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes. This makes me so excited. I hope you guys are learning, and I hope you guys are just like really into this, because I am. Um, I am having such a good time so far. I know I've been trying to see your guys' comments. And I've been seeing some really good stuff on here. Someone said, "Who is this woman?" Serayah is talking to you. If you just joined the live, Shifa's journey, Yasmin is a say it again.
At IFS, internal family systems.
Okay, IFS,
It's a mouthful
Internal
though,
Family
practitioner.
Systems.
Yeah.
She's an amazing woman. She has great content. Please go to her page, check her out. And she has so much knowledge and technique and even like advice to give around so many different topics. And this is all. Someone said, "Well, I need to have a conversation with Shafa."
Please do. Yes, please do. That's what
um,
we're here for.
yes. So, oh, we want to know what led her here. What's her testimony? Yours.
Oh, me. Oh, wow. Um, well, so I'm actually, I came to the U.S. as a refugee from Somalia, and I'm the eldest in my family. We're a family of all girls, and my family, there's a lot of generational trauma from war, from poverty, and there was a lot of pain. I think for me growing up, there was a lot of parentification. There was just a lot of things that I couldn't verbalize, especially because there's a huge language barrier between me and my parents. And then so I feel in coming to the US, I was actually given a gift of, being able to have an education and learn. And I was just so, 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 so pulled to understand my family dynamics because there was so much pain there for me. And I found myself too repeating these dynamics and getting into relationships with, it was almost like the same people but in different bodies.
Mm,
And that's really what it was, my wake-up call of something is happening inside of me that is repetitive, and I really want to understand it. And it feels very connected to the pain with my family and with my parents. And so I feel this work has really been, I feel spiritually led, to be honest,
mm,
to this place. And I feel spiritually like I've been supported to come here because I think if somebody like me can figure it out, with all of my limitations. I'm a Black woman. I'm an African woman. I was raised Muslim, and poverty and war, and and being a refugee, and my parents not having an education, and so much trauma. I feel if I can figure it out, then so can everyone else. And I feel I was given the opportunity to be somebody who can hold people um, you know, who are from like our marginalized communities, right? That
mm,
maybe don't have this language or this access. I want to help be that bridge because it's just, I felt a lot of pain. I felt a lot of
mm,
pain. This tool, especially internal family systems, really has been the one form of therapy that actually has been so transformative for me to the point where I experience it like in my body. I experience it in the way I show up in my body, and so I want to be able to help offer that, to the people who look like me, um, you know, who share a similar story, and so yeah, that's my
I
testimony.
love, oh my gosh. I feel like this is the first time I've really, I like I knew your background, but this is the first time I'm glad that they asked that question because I'm like,
Yeah,
wow,
thank you.
what did lead you here? And that's so powerful because, so many people can relate to that core feeling of pain or trauma, and to know that it is possible, like you said, to turn things around and to really transform the person you are so that you can have a more, um, I would say, just fulfilling life, without like carrying that, running into the same, like you said, the same person in different bodies, like running into the same thing, and you're just on this hamster wheel of life, and you just feel like it's just nothing's changing, no matter what I do, no matter the new friend, the new boyfriend, the new girlfriend. It's just like the same drama, the same things. And so many people go through that merry-go-rounds. It's inspiring to know that you were there once
Yes,
and you are on the other side of it. So
yes.
now I'm like, okay, what do you have to say? So that's really dope. I have some people on here saying, yes, I need to talk to her. So this is great. It's saying I need this conversation, girl. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I love that, y'all. I did see a really great question and they deleted it. Dang, y'all. Aw. I had a there was a really good question on here. I was gonna ask you. Um, okay. Let me go to another one. We have um oh, okay, here's a good one. We have Rod McDodger from My Love's broadcast channel said, "Do you think self-love comes with a lot of sacrifices and cutoffs?"
So, mm, yes and no. Mainly no, though. I think that it's actually I don't necessarily think it's a cutoff. I think it's more so a like setting some boundaries around certain behaviors, right? And then it's almost like you're stepping into a different way of holding yourself. And what you're
Hmm.
saying to the people around you is, I love you and I want you in my life, but you're going to have to come with me here. This is the place where we're going to have to be in love, right?
Hmm.
Versus you going to them. And so a lot of the way I approach it and the way I hold it in my system is exactly that. It's the door is open, but you have to come in here. I can't go to you in that place of pain and chaos and getting stuck on that hamster wheel. So it's an open invitation if you can hold yourself in that place. Sometimes you may be so traumatized from something that you may need to temporarily or permanently just disconnect from it so that your body can have time to really heal outside of that environment. And so it's different for everybody, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary or always essential to just cut everybody off. In fact, I think that sometimes that's actually another attempt to manage the experience versus actually heal yourself. So
Mm.
there's a way to be, and this is really what coming from an immigrant background, you can't just say to people cut your family off.
No,
It's like
not gonna
being
happen.
black. You're not just cutting everybody. Like that's not like necessarily accessible to us.
Yeah,
But you can set certain boundaries and then invite them to be with you in a different way, and also understand that that is a choice they're going to have to make on their time. And you hold yourself in this place of love and healing and taking care of yourself until hopefully they can come and be with you in this new way.
I love that offering like the deal terms,
Yes.
offering the deal terms of what this needs to be going forward. Um, Obviously not in a ultimatum
Yeah.
way, but in a way of like, hey, these are my boundaries. Um, and another thing about boundaries, real quick, it's
Yeah.
up to us to upkeep them, not anyone else, and to set them. So what I hear you saying is, you know, you're expressing that boundary in um, you're allowing them to then respond to that in a respectful way. Or if not, if this is just can't be, if this has to always cross my boundary,
Yeah.
then maybe I do need to take some time away. Or if in the worst case, I might have to just say, I have to love you from afar
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this is hurting me and we're not getting anywhere. And am I'm breaking the promise to myself
Yeah.
by allowing my boundaries to be crossed
Exactly.
continuously.
It's an I matter too. That's what my therapist says.
Mm,
An I matter
mm,
too
mm,
conversation versus
mm,
you're going to be comfortable at my expense, right? It's not
mm.
fair to me, and it's actually not good for you either,
Right.
for me to allow you to treat me this way. um, Human beings, we don't want to be the bad guy, and so when you're allowing other people to be the bad guy in your life, and that doesn't feel good for them, even if it temporarily gives them a false sense of power. Even your most narcissistic people, it's not healing for them to have that experience of you letting them, right, mistreat you. So, yes, absolutely. Loving from afar. And what I wanted to add to that is what I love about this model is
Mm,
you can go in and actually, do when you go in and do this inner work and heal from that place of like the root, right, of where it started, what I have found to be the most like incredible experience is that the things that people did in the past that would feel so like this is it's breaking me, stopped having that impact. That's what was so fascinating. And I could be in a room with somebody who, you know, I love very dearly, but behaves in ways or says things that really are like, that really
Sorry,
break
guys, my
me.
dog. Sorry.
um,
Uh-huh.
that could that in the past would have broken me down,
Hmm.
and I could be in that room and it not impact me in the same way. And so you see how that suddenly opens up possibility in how you can be in relationship with this person and still take care of yourself, right? It doesn't mean you have to always be with them, but maybe, you, because like, for example, if it's your mom, right? You might love her, but there might be certain things that is just, this dynamic. So if you can do something in here that then allows you to show up in a way that when she does that, it just doesn't really, it bounces off of you. Can you imagine how that can shift? How you even set the boundaries, how you even, you can be in that space differently.
Communicate how you can,
Yeah.
yeah, get
Yeah. So it's
along.
empowering. It's
Yeah.
empowering. You can
Uh,
empower yourself first
hmm
internally, and that gives you choices. It gives you options.
Something that just popped into my mind because you're talking about this, especially with family dynamics, and it's obviously family is the hardest
Yeah.
to deal with, especially mom, dad. Like, yeah, it's really hard. But I would say, I was gonna say that there's this thing where when you start to get this awareness and you start to say, "Oh, I need boundaries, and I'm gonna set these boundaries in my life." Sometimes the knowledge, the newfound knowledge that you have, you want to like place that on people, and
Mm.
they may not be ready for that. So
Yeah.
how do you communicate without seeming like you're trying to lecture because your mama not gonna like that?
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so you know what I mean? Most parents won't. So it's like, how do I maybe like you said, you just with those type of things, do you just change it in yourself and you just make your own decision and you
Yeah.
don't need to communicate
Well,
it? Or do
you
you
know,
try to communicate it?
yeah, I see it as an invitation, right? I see it as like, hey, look, this is how I'm going to do things. So first and foremost, like you said, I stopped focusing on, okay, how can I get them to change? I
Hmm.
mean, you're
Okay.
talking about IDFN, right? How do I
Yes.
get him to change so I can feel better?
Yeah.
That's a very disempowering approach. It may
Mm.
have worked in the past in some ways, but it's so limiting, and people resent it, like you said.
Right.
So the deeper work that actually requires us to feel more deeply, which is so much harder to do, which is why it's a lot easier to be like, I'm just going to try to fix you all day long until I'm sick of it. Now I got to try something new. That deeper work is, like you said, going internally and figuring out, okay, what is within my sphere of control? Like, what can I control here
Hmm.
and what can I not? And grieving that and going, okay, I have no control over what they are going to do. I can only invite them to be with me in this new way. They may say no. So now I have to take care of the part of me that feels rejected or abandoned or hurt because they said no or because they're not capable of showing up for me in this way. So
Hmm.
that's the self-love. That's the work. That's where the real work begins. And that's what I do with a lot of my clients and even with
Hmm.
myself in my own therapy is like, okay, I offered this invitation to so and so who I really love, and they couldn't show up in that way, and I'm really heartbroken, and we're going in there and be like, okay, let's talk to this part that's really heartbroken. Where is this coming from? What is it afraid is going to happen? And really giving it that love and that, that compassion to be able to release that and let that person go. And when that happens, something shifts because people receive us differently now.
Hmm.
I'm not saying they'll 100% just change,
Yeah.
but your influence becomes even more empowering and more powerful
Mm.
because you're coming from a place of being self assured, right? So you're not trying to control them. And then people can feel when they're being managed and controlled, so they resist
Right.
that, right? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So you increase the likelihood that they'll actually be receptive when you are internally holding yourself in a different way of like, I'm gonna be okay, but I'd like to invite you to do this with me. Now they can hear it differently. They can feel it
Wow.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is some good stuff. Oh my gosh. I have some family in here, my dad, my mom.
Hey,
Hey.
yeah.
Um, so I about what you said, oh my gosh, so many good things, but one of the main things that stood out to me was that, it you don't realize that it's coming with control, but it is control because you're trying to manipulate them changing or being what you need them to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important during that journey. That's one of the biggest things you learn. One of the first things you learn too. But it's like, it's so important to realize that the best teacher or the best like example is just leading by example. And I'm trying to do that the best I can every day. So, and knowing that leading by example, it shows up more than trying to, you know, overly I would say even like micromanage or overly
Yeah.
try to show someone something or reveal something to someone, um or pushing your boundaries and always having this like disenfranchising conversation with them, instead of doing that, just showing up as this version of you that is changing and evolving. that's
Yes.
that's so powerful. Okay, so we are going to do one last question, y'all. Um, and you please let me know, Yasmin, if you have anything else to you want to ask me or anything.
Yeah.
Um, so we have one last question from the, let's see, from the broadcast channel. Ivy underscore not blue said, "How do you learn to truly accept yourself wholeheartedly?"
Mm.
Self
Well,
acceptance. Woo!
that
How do you learn
that's
that?
you're asking because there's books, right? There's
So
years
many
of
books.
like, yes. So, self acceptance, that's the journey we're all on, I think. And it's not something that necessarily comes overnight. It's an experience. It's actually a very physical process. I used to think self acceptance was like, okay, I accept myself, like in here, like in my head, I got it. I got it in my head, like I accept myself. But then I show up in situations and I feel like all this like doubt and like, I can't do this. Ugh, and I'm
Right.
judging myself. So we have to remember that we got here through a lot of practice, a lot of internal dialogue, a lot of the world telling us about ourselves and how we are unlovable. That's happening. Your environment is constantly bombarding you with that, so that level of practice that it took, it's going to take that level of practice to accept yourself as well.
Mm.
Now, and I promise you guys, I'm not trying to promote my services or anything. Like I said, I have done. I mean, if you want to, come on through. But really, really, even if it's not me, this, this tool, internal family systems, like I'm gonna sing this man's praises. Some it's almost like a very spiritual experience where you feel it in your body, the difference, because what's happening is
Mm.
that you're working with somebody who's able to hold almost like a specific frequency with you, and it's from that frequency that we're able to heal. Like, have you ever been in a room with somebody who radiates a lot of love, a lot of
Yes.
love, compassion, and you just feel it
Yes.
in your body? You're just
Yeah,
like,
you're
wow,
like,
this is different.
dang.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
something is happening from a heart level that's helping you
Mm.
heal. And so that energy of complete non-judgment, complete openness and curiosity and compassion is what actually like radiates to help those wounded parts heal. So that acceptance, you also have access to that, right? And so in this work, what we're doing is we're removing the blocks so that you can feel more of that compassion for yourself, and then you can go to those parts of you that don't feel that good about who they are, right? Like,
Mm.
I don't feel good when I show up, when I'm getting ready for my concert or whatever, right? And I feel people are judging me and I think they might be. That self-talk, there's a very specific place and frequency you can actually help yourself heal, and then it will change in your body. You will literally rewrite and
Mm.
rewire it in your body. So I think, I will promote this. system, internal family systems, I think is a catalyst. It's like a fast track. It's like, you could practice it, but then take this and do this, and you start to speed up the process. I'm telling you, Serayah, almost overnight that I was
Really?
experiencing. I'm not kidding you, girl.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
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 about
paying
to
for my
run to
own
the next.
therapy.
How do we do this? How do I get involved? I'm running to the next meeting, the next
Yes,
Zoom
come join me.
session.
Come join me. It's amazing. It's really incredible, especially if you can find the right person to work with. It just fast tracks this self-love journey. In my
Hmm.
opinion and my personal experience, like I said, I have my own therapist because of how
Yeah,
much I believe in this,
yeah.
and it's just transformed me as a person in ways I did not think were possible, and then transforming my relationships. I am I am healing relationships I thought could not heal. I've had
Wow,
given up on them, and I mean people I love dearly. That we are different, two different people because of this work. I
wow.
really, really am just, yeah.
That's
And I want to offer that to people. It's
beautiful.
possible, you guys. It's really, really possible.
It's
It's
so
really possible.
beautiful. That's so beautiful because sometimes people just accept it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they just accept it and then they just stay there. And years and years and years and years and more years go by
Yeah.
and they just accept the abuse or accept the low vibrational
Yeah.
you know relationships with
Yeah.
family, either that being family, friends, or romantic relationships, and that is an unfortunate place. I feel like for people to settle, um, which is why I love speaking on these topics of self growth and self love because it's such a. I feel like it's not a destination; it's a journey and there's not a moment that you're just gonna wake up and be like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
just but there I feel like I seen this video of Denzel Washington actually and he was just saying like on the note of positivity, on the note of like being a better person, like anything with practice, you get better at it. And I think it's about like realizing that the polarity is always gonna exist, but with practice in the right direction things change, things get better, you get better at it.
Yeah.
Like you said, relationships heal. You turn into this more evolved
Yeah.
person that's able to communicate, that's able to rest their nervous system,
Yeah.
that's able to, and then even realizing that I had to learn that over the past couple years. Your nervous
Yeah.
system is connected. It's not all just it's not all just what books you're reading, to understand that how your
Yeah.
body traps the trauma.
It's in here. It's not just up here.
It's
Exactly.
not just up here,
Yeah.
right? And so there's all these things happening with fear and anxiety, and there's things happening to your body that you're not even realizing is so used to going to certain places. And you have to
Yeah.
rewire and reconstruct and imagine your personhood. I love that word.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna be using that now.
Yeah. I love it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm this is wow. I seen someone earlier in the live be like, "Are y'all bringing back motivational Mondays?" I'm like, "Okay,
Let's do
we have a
it.
we have a fan that remembers."
Yeah. It's been
That's
a
dope.
while.
I think we definitely should. I think IDFN is definitely kicking off
Yeah.
this for me and being more present. And my fans know, my followers know that I take time to myself and now I'm back outside. So I'm like, hey guys, let's talk about this. Let's grow. We're going into 2025. Can't believe it. But it's happening and I really am like excited for my own journey. And so that makes me really excited to be able to use my platform to share some of these things that I'm learning with the people that follow me. And it's not just about pictures and lifestyle, living life and being a real person, going through real things and coming out of that other side. And so um, I want to thank you, Shifa, and I want you to go ahead and, well, you can follow her at Shifa's Journey here on Instagram. Do you have anything else, like any other place you want them to follow you or any other information about? the internal family systems that you want them to know?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely follow me on Instagram. I'll have a link up for if people are interested in, booking, and I have a booking page and all that good stuff.
Hey.
So I'll be sharing that with everybody. I'll be opening my books up in January. I'm not officially open yet, but I'll be opening my books back up in January. Um, and yeah, thank you so much, Soraya. I did have a
Yes,
question that I think
yes, come on, yeah, for sure.
maybe that it might be, because I think people forget that you're a real person and that
Right.
you're going through your journey.
Yeah,
So
hell yeah.
what what is it for you? If there was one or two things that you've transformed a lot in the last few years. I mean, it's evident your growth and just even your presence and your comfort in your own skin.
Thank
I
you.
see that, like, that's very visible to
Wow.
me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been a
absolutely.
journey.
And I'm so curious,
Uh,
what, like, you know, what is it for you? Like one or two things that really helped you transform and get way more comfortable and, like, in your skin, in your womanhood.
how? Okay. I think I can say, um, what has pushed me to maybe the next level of evolution with myself at this present moment so far, um, are like the roller coasters, the ups and the downs of life, right? Personal relationships, work, the lack thereof. We had COVID and a strike. Uh, there was a lot of there was a lot of personal um, adversities that I was going through and struggling with, and not able to show that, um, but having to silently suffer. And I think that in my position, it became hard for me to vocalize truly how I felt, because I feel like there's a lack of empathy when it comes to people in my position.
Yeah.
And therefore, because there's a lack of empathy, there's a lack of understanding, and now I just don't feel like talking about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, I think having to be with myself
Mhm.
in these situations, my journal, I was just looking at my journal the other day I've from 2021 up until now, in this one journal, and I'm like, there were so many things that I was going through that I think being able to be with myself and God in prayer, um, just slowly revealing things to me, pushing me to make different strides in my personal life first,
Yeah.
to kind of like you're saying, a detoxifying
Yeah.
situation, which is not pretty at all. And so I had plenty of moments of being ugly, and plenty of moments of feeling really, really low.
Yeah.
And at and I think what I began to realize is, for me specifically, what I was going through was being able to be okay with taking the restful time,
Mm.
to being able to be okay that things aren't going the way that I want them to
Mm.
go, that control, that I always had, right?
Yeah.
I was, I felt like God was intentionally sitting me down in a quiet and dark space, um, that had to grow things inside of me and shed a layer of myself. And for I guess coming out of that, turning 29, I don't know what it is, but coming out of that, I became a lot more confident in self, because I'm like, I'm gonna sit in who I am and where I am
Mm.
at this present moment and be okay.
Mm.
That's what I was working on. Being okay right now with what I have right now, with where
Yeah.
I am right now. You know what I mean? And with who I'm with right now.
Yeah.
With, you know what I mean, where my family is right now, where my goals, my to-do list, all these things, being okay
Yeah.
and being in a restful space. And I think that doing that really allowed me to calm that side of myself.
Mm.
Like it's like
Yeah.
I had to relinquish control to be able to be a little bit more peaceful. And then I guess that comes off being a little bit more content with
Mm.
myself.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of journeying
Yeah.
and valleys and peaks and valleys, but I think um like all roller coasters, they come to an end and you're like, whoo,
Yeah.
hair messed up, boy's gone. Like,
You're like, all right, I need a break now.
like, okay. I said, okay, guys,
Okay,
all right, I'm gonna
enough
sit
of the
down.
healing. I just need to sleep a little bit.
That's enough. I'm gonna take a nap. All right.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that that's just my calling. I think that's who I am at this point, and I'm just I'm searching for that. Okay, this is what I thought it should have been,
Yeah.
or this is what I thought it should look like.
Yeah.
But what does spirit want from me?
Yeah.
What is the ultimate, like you're saying, that purpose and that sense of what is the story, what am I doing this for,
Yeah.
and that is so much more important to me now, even with jobs I select and things that I do. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a much more important question for me. Why?
Yeah.
And saying no. So all of
Yes.
those things freed me.
Wow. Wow.
Like,
And look
yeah.
how much beauty is coming into your life. And and
Oh
even
my
just you're
goodness. Right.
radiating that aura of confidence. And yeah, I hear you saying, that God gave you, there was this invitation. God kind of created this environment for you to sit still and figure out, like, in that stillness, what matters to you, and being okay with not constantly doing, but trusting and having a relationship with spirit, like a co-creation, like spirit
Yeah,
has been co-creating with you this whole time. Like, spirit is saying, I've been with you. You just
absolutely.
haven't heard it. You haven't felt it because you were going so fast. So can you trust me now and work with me some more? And that takes a lot to surrender. That's a lot of resilience on your part. Yeah.
And I feel like we talked about surrender too a
Yeah.
while ago.
Yeah. We were on the surrender journey
Yeah,
together, you know?
it is not
Yeah.
easy, okay?
No.
For girls like me or guys like me, people like me that are on their goal list
Yeah.
and got their things, look, this is what I'm doing, you
Yeah.
know, and you're a go-getter type of person. Surrender is like, surrender. I got
Yeah.
things to do.
I got feelings I don't want to feel right now. I'm trying
Right. I
to
don't have
avoid
time for
all of
these
this.
feelings. What are we talking about? When it's
Yeah.
time to cry. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was definitely that. I love that you said a co-creator. That's definitely how it felt. That's how it feels. Um, and yeah, so I'm continuously on this journey. I'm healing,
Yes.
not healed.
Yes.
So it is definitely a journey, and that even in itself allows me a lot of confidence to say, this is an everyday
I don't
journey.
have
What
to
is,
be perfect. I don't
no,
have to arrive anywhere.
and
Yeah.
and I don't even want to be.
Yeah.
Don't want to. I'm not interested in that.
I love
So
that.
I def
I'm not
yeah.
interested in arriving anywhere. I want to actually be continuously. That's life. You're living, you're breathing. Why are you trying to get to some perfect destination? What are you going to be? A trophy? A
What
statue?
are you gonna do?
Just be perfect?
Just stick there and just be stuck
Yeah.
there? It's
Yeah.
true. It's
Yeah.
so true. It's so true, and it's much more like it's just much more. I would say things become more fulfilling
Mm,
in the space in that space. Um, I'm able to be more present most times, you know, and as long as I'm keeping on my meditation, the things I need to be doing, I'm able to sit in that version of myself versus the version of myself that um, I'm constantly evolving, you know.
mm,
And I think that, like I said, there is that duality that's always going to exist. And I was just having this conversation with my mom this morning. We're drinking
wow.
coffee, real quick, y'all. We almost done. And we're having this conversation about so many things. But one of the main things I want to point out was we're saying how the duality is always going to exist, but it's about which one are you going to give more
Mm,
attention. And
mm,
it goes back to that with practice, you get better at anything.
mm,
And so I'm realizing that as long as I can be aware and give the the light side of me more attention, then I can be intentional
Yeah.
in being who I'm, who the woman I want to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now we're here, and now I have this to work with every day, and that's what made me excited today, especially for our conversation, because I'm like, okay, I can really choose. It kind of feels fun. Like now
Yeah.
I realize that I can choose, and I don't have to be like hijacked
Oh,
by these different
yeah.
anxieties and
Yeah.
fears, and you know what I mean?
You have
This,
choice. You know you have options. You can choose what you feed. Yes, that's power. That's the healing. That's it right there. What you're talking about is when we finally unlock the part that idea. Oh wait, I can choose this. I can decide today to put on some makeup, turn on my live, and talk about self-love and
yeah,
create my own journey. Like this is my life. I have free will. I don't have to be trapped in all these beliefs trying to take over me. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Beautiful.
I,
Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
love that. Yes.
Thank you,
Well, thank you
Serayah.
so much. Thank
Yeah,
you. I really
thank you.
appreciate you.
I
It's
appreciate
always
being
great
here.
speaking to you. You guys, we're going to do this again for sure. Make sure you stay tuned into the IDFN live series. And we're going to have some really cool guests. Shifa kicked us off
Yeah.
with a beautiful conversation about self love and so many other things. Thank you guys for being here and being a part, and for sharing your positivity throughout this live. I've been seeing so many people writing so many nice things, talking to each other, even dropping some wisdom here and there. So thank y'all. I love you with much love and light. Have a beautiful holiday season. Shifa, I will see you soon because I'll be out there.
Oh, Christmas, you're coming through?
Yeah, I'm coming Christmas.
Okay. We'll see you soon. I love you.
Okay, I
Bye.
love you. See you.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.
That was amazing, guys. My light turned off, so my lighting got a little janky. My light ran out of battery. Sorry, guys. Um, so if you're just now joining us or kind of hopped in after I initially got on, the IDF series, live talk series that I'm starting, we're going to do a few episodes with some really cool guests, friends, people that I know, people that have so much love and light to give. And we'll do different topics. You guys go to my Loves broadcast channel on my page. I'm going to put up a poll or a question insert so that you can go ahead and ask me, what should the next IDFN Talk Live series be about? What should be the next topic? And then I can go ahead and choose the perfect person to come on and speak about that topic that you guys want to hear around empowerment, self-love, encouragement, and things all in that umbrella. Self-development is what we're talking about. IDFN is my new single. It's called I Don't Fix Niggas. I don't fix niggas. Oops. Sorry. I ain't sorry. Nigga. Hell no. Okay. Just had a moment. So um so yeah, that's what this series is about. It's about my new single, and it's a beautiful song, and it is something I think that you guys will really love. Um and I'm gonna play it again for those who weren't here at the beginning. So we're gonna exit out to the song. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love all 200 of you, however many people are in here. You guys go to my page, follow my broadcast channel. Make sure you subscribe to my Exclusively Yours channel, because they get even more exclusive things that no one has gotten from me. Um, and sorry, I'm reading some of these. I'm gonna play it right now. It's called IDFN. Hashtag IDFN. I don't fix niggas. It's not just for women, it's for everybody feeling the vibes, that understand the message and understand where I'm coming from. Here we go. I'll put it. Our pudding. I'm writing them down as we speak. Ooh, that's a good one. How to get out of people pleasing. We can even elaborate on that. Knowing your worth. I've seen some really good ones. Um, I have some really cool stuff planned for the song. It's I Don't Fix Niggas, but I'm gonna open up the second verse and I'm gonna allow anyone who is a writer, singer, rapper, whatever, whoever wants to get on the second verse, I'm gonna allow you guys to duet to the second verse so that you can create the own version. You can create the male version. You can respond as a call and response. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your creativity. That's another great topic. We're definitely gonna do that. I want to have fun with this record. I want to see y'all, and then I want you guys to push the movement, push the movement, push the movement, push the movement. And self love, you're able to give love, you're able to be more compassionate and understanding for those that are around you, for those that need you the most. So just stay locked in with me. I'm going to be posting new updates about this. Um, Also, follow me on TikTok at Serayah. There's going to be some really cool stuff on there, duets and challenges and different things that where we can link on there. I want to do some lives on TikTok as well. I've never done that. I think I did it one time. So if you're a avid TikTok user, I'll see you on there as well. And thank you so much again for being a part of this live. Next time, I'm going to charge this damn light so that I can stay lit, y'all. Um, but with all that said and done, I love y'all. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving, and I hope that you continue to have plenty of blessed and bright and happy and secure and confident days ahead of you for the rest of this year, especially going into the new year. Don't set unrealistic expectations. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Love you. See you soon. I'll be out there soon. And yeah, stay tuned for the IDF and Talk Live series and many other updates. Make sure you go to my page once again. Follow the My Loves broadcast channel and subscribe to the exclusively yours broadcast channel as well. And I am going to have such an amazing guest next time as well. Shifa, thank you so much for your love and your light and your expertise and your commitment to the journey, to always evolving and helping others evolve, for being a person who is able to channel the love and light energy and spread that outwardly. Such a beautiful thing. You guys, I live for this. I'll see you soon. Have a night.